The red dust of Mars swirled around Dr. Elena Santos as she knelt beside the metallic structure protruding from the cliff face. After 3 years of leading geological surveys on the red planet, she'd seen her share of unusual formations. But this was different. Mission Control, are you seeing this? Elena adjusted her helmet camera, hands trembling slightly as she brushed away centuries of accumulated dust. The metal had an iridescent sheen that seemed to shift colors under her touch. Affirmative, Dr. Santos. Our analysts are reviewing the feed now. The voice of Flight Director Chen crackled through her comm. Can you describe what you're seeing? It's definitely artificial, some kind of alloy I've never encountered before. The structure appears to extend deep into the cliff. Elena ran her scanner over the surface, getting some unusual energy readings. Almost like it's active. That's when the ground began to shake. The tremors started subtly at first, barely noticeable through her suit's stabilizers. Within seconds, they intensified into violent convulsions that sent Elena stumbling backward. Cracks spider-webbed across the cliff face as more of the metallic structure emerged from within. Dr. Santos, get out of there now. Chen's voice was urgent. Seismic activity is off the charts. But Elena stood transfixed as a massive doorway materialized before her, ancient mechanisms grinding to life after millennia of dormancy. The entrance to what could only be an alien facility gaped open, revealing darkness beyond. This changes everything, she whispered. Within hours, the discovery dominated headlines across Earth. Humanity's first concrete proof of intelligent alien life, not from distant stars, but hidden beneath their cosmic backyard all along. Elena's team worked tirelessly to document and study the facility, which appeared to be some kind of automated research station. The real breakthrough came 3 weeks later when they managed to access the station's data cores. The information they found was staggering: star charts, technological schematics, and most importantly, records of an interstellar civilization called the Nexian Empire. What they didn't realize was that accessing those records had triggered an automated signal, one that was already racing across light years toward its recipients. The first signs of response came 6 months later. Massive energy signatures appeared at the edge of the solar system, a fleet of ships unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Their designs matched those in the Mars facility's database. The Nexian Empire had returned. Earth's governments scrambled to respond, hastily assembling a diplomatic team while mobilizing what military assets they could. But the Nexians had no interest in diplomacy. Their first transmission was brief: you have accessed restricted Imperial technology. This system is now under quarantine. Resist, and face extinction. Within days, the Nexian fleet established a blockade around Earth and Mars. Their ships easily disabled human satellites and defense platforms, demonstrating technological superiority that made resistance seem futile. Elena watched in horror from the Mars facility as the situation deteriorated. Working frantically, she and her team dug deeper into the station's archives, searching for anything that might help humanity survive. There has to be something, she muttered, poring over translated data streams. They wouldn't have left this facility here without. Her voice trailed off as a new file caught her attention. Unlike the others, this one was heavily encrypted, marked with what appeared to be warning symbols. Elena's hand hesitated over the controls as she considered the risk. The last time they'd accessed restricted data, it had brought an alien empire to their doorstep. But what choice did they have? The file contained specifications for advanced defensive systems, technology the Nexians had apparently abandoned due to dangerous instabilities. It was a desperate gamble, but it might be humanity's only chance. Elena transmitted the data to Earth just as Nexian forces began their orbital bombardment. The message was simple: this is our only shot. Make it count. As cities burned and millions fled underground, humanity's brightest minds worked to understand and implement the ancient weapons. The Nexians had given them 1 week to surrender. They would need every second. The cost would be devastating, but humanity refused to go quietly into the night. The real war was about to begin. Admiral Marcus Zhang stood at the bridge of the ESS Nighthawk, Earth's first stealth vessel incorporating the recovered Nexian technology. The experimental shield modifications made the ship virtually undetectable, but they came with a deadly cost. The energy field slowly degraded the hull's molecular structure. Status report on the Perseus corridor, he commanded, studying the holographic display showing the vast stretch of space where Earth's cargo vessels had been mysteriously vanishing. Lieutenant Kira Patel manipulated the sensor controls. No unusual readings, sir. But something about these energy patterns doesn't add up. They're too perfect. Zhang nodded grimly. In the 3 months since the initial Nexian invasion, humanity had learned harsh lessons about survival. The aliens' superior technology had forced them to adapt, to think differently. Every victory came at a terrible price. They're hiding something out here, Zhang muttered. And we need to find out what before we lose more ships. The Nighthawk continued its silent patrol, its revolutionary propulsion system allowing it to slip through space like a ghost. The ship represented humanity's best chance at understanding their enemy's capabilities. Each mission pushed the boundaries of what they thought possible. A sudden alert pierced the bridge's tension. Energy spike detected. Kira called out. Massive displacement occurring at coordinates 227 Mark 43. The void before them seemed to tear open, reality itself twisting as a massive Nexian warship emerged from what appeared to be a hidden pocket of subspace. The vessel dwarfed the Nighthawk, its crystalline surface pulsing with otherworldly power. Hold position, Zhang ordered. Maintain stealth protocols. His heart raced as he watched the alien ship through the viewscreen. This could be the breakthrough they needed. The Nexian vessel began deploying smaller craft, sleek, predatory shapes that moved with impossible grace. They formed a precise pattern in space, their energy signatures resonating in harmony. Sir, Kira's voice was urgent. They're generating some kind of quantum field. The readings matched the distortions we detected near the missing ships. Zhang leaned forward, pieces clicking into place. They're not just attacking our vessels. They're capturing them. Studying them. A burst of static filled the bridge as their communications system activated unexpectedly. An alien voice, speaking through some kind of translation matrix, echoed through the speakers. Your presence is detected, humans. Your attempt at concealment is admirable, but futile. Your species continues to surprise us with its resourcefulness. Zhang's blood ran cold. Their stealth systems had failed. All hands, battle stations, he commanded. Kira, get us out of here. The Nighthawk's engines flared to life, but the Nexian ships were already moving to intercept. Energy beams lanced through space, their crystalline vessels forming an intricate web of crossfire. Shields failing. Kira reported. The quantum field is interfering with our systems. Zhang watched as the massive alien warship loomed closer. They couldn't let the Nighthawk be captured, the technological secrets it contained would give the Nexians an insurmountable advantage. Initialize Protocol 0, he ordered quietly. Kira's eyes widened. Sir, that's untested. The power surge could tear the ship apart. Better that than letting them take it. Zhang's voice was firm. Do it. Protocol 0 was a last resort weapon developed from the Mars facility data, a controlled overload of their modified shields that would theoretically create a localized quantum implosion. As Kira entered the activation sequence, the ship's systems began to howl in protest. Energy coursed through the hull, the molecular degradation accelerating exponentially. Containment fields at critical levels. Engineering reported. We have minutes at most. The Nexian ships pressed their attack, seemingly aware of what the humans were attempting. Their energy weapons battered the Nighthawk's failing defenses. Send the data burst, Zhang commanded. Make sure Earth knows what we found here. Just as the quantum field began to collapse around them, Kira managed to transmit their sensor logs and tactical data. The information would be crucial for understanding the Nexians' true capabilities. The bridge erupted in cascading explosions as Protocol Zero reached its climax. Zhang watched with grim satisfaction as reality itself seemed to fold inward around the Nighthawk. The last thing he saw was the Nexian warship being pulled into the quantum maelstrom they had created. The Perseus corridor fell silent once more, but the battle was far from over. On Earth, analysis of the Nighthawk's final transmission would reveal crucial weaknesses in Nexian technology, weaknesses that would change the course of the war. Humanity had paid a heavy price for this knowledge, but they would make it count. The sacrifice of the Nighthawk's crew would not be in vain. Dr. Maya Chen's hands moved swiftly across the holographic interface in the underground facility beneath the ruins of Singapore. The loss of the Nighthawk had provided crucial intelligence, but it also revealed a terrifying truth: the Nexians weren't just studying captured human ships, they were harvesting biological data. Cross-reference these protein sequences, she instructed her AI assistant. Something about these patterns seems deliberate. The laboratory hummed with activity as other scientists worked to understand the alien biotechnology. They'd managed to salvage components from a damaged Nexian fighter, discovering organic computers that merged seamlessly with crystalline technology. A warning flashed across Maya's screen. Match found in restricted database, the AI announced. Similar sequences detected in classified weapons research. Maya's blood ran cold as she examined the results. The protein structures weren't random, they were engineered to interact with human DNA. The Nexians weren't just studying humanity, they were designing something specifically for them. "Get me General Rodriguez, immediately," she ordered. Within hours, a secure quantum conference connected key military and scientific leaders. Maya presented her findings, her voice grave. "The Nexians are developing a bioweapon," she explained. "One that targets human genetic markers while leaving their own biology unaffected. Based on these simulations, exposure would cause catastrophic cellular breakdown within hours." General Rodriguez's holographic image flickered. "How close are they to deployment?" "That's the problem, sir. I believe they've already started testing it." Maya displayed data from recent refugee reports. These mysterious illnesses in occupied territories. Their trial runs. The implications were staggering. Conventional defenses would be useless against a genetic weapon. The Nexians could theoretically cleanse entire planets while leaving infrastructure intact. "We need a countermeasure," Rodriguez stated. "How long would it take to develop one?" Maya hesitated. "With current resources? Months, maybe years. We don't have that kind of time." "What about the Mars facility data?" someone suggested. "There might be something we missed." Maya shook her head. "We've been through those files repeatedly. Unless..." Her eyes widened as an idea struck. "The encryption patterns. What if they're not just security measures, but part of the data itself?" Working through the night, Maya and her team re-examined the alien database with fresh eyes. The encryption algorithms themselves contained hidden information, biological data encoded in mathematical forms. "They left us a blueprint," Maya realized. "The Nexians who built that facility, they knew this might happen. They left us a defense. But implementing it would require something unprecedented, a direct interface with Nexian biotechnology. The risks were enormous, but they had no choice." Maya volunteered herself as the first test subject. The procedure would either grant her the ability to synthesize a countermeasure or kill her instantly. As the integration chamber powered up, Maya thought of her daughter, safe in one of Earth's underground shelters. Everything she did was to ensure humanity had a future. The alien technology merged with her nervous system, flooding her consciousness with information. Pain blazed through every cell as her DNA was rewritten. Then, suddenly, clarity. She understood now. The Nexians weren't a single empire, they were a faction. The Mars facility had been built by rebels, those who opposed genetic warfare. They had hidden their knowledge, waiting for another species worthy of inheriting it. Maya's transformed biology could now produce an antidote to the Nexian weapon. But more importantly, she could see how to turn their own biotech against them. The war was about to enter a new phase, and humanity finally had a fighting chance. As Maya began documenting the counterweapons synthesis, alerts blared throughout the facility. Nexian ships had been detected entering the atmosphere. The race was on. They had to mass-produce the antidote before the enemy launched their final assault. The next few hours would determine the fate of their species. Maya looked at her changed reflection in the chamber's surface. Faint crystalline patterns now traced her skin, marking her as something new, a bridge between two species, and perhaps humanity's last hope. Captain Aria Reyes studied the holographic battle map aboard the Resistance vessel Shadow Whisper. Earth's underground resistance had transformed in the year since the initial invasion, adopting guerrilla tactics that kept the Nexians off balance. Another transport convoy detected in Sector 7, her tactical officer reported. Same energy signature as the others. The Nexians had been moving massive amounts of equipment toward their primary base in the Sahara. Intelligence suggested they were building something big, something that could change the course of the war. Plot an intercept course, Arya ordered. Stealth systems at maximum. The Shadow Whisper carried experimental cloaking technology reverse-engineered from captured Nexian ships. It wasn't perfect, but it gave them a fighting chance. As they approached the convoy, Arya noticed something odd about the lead transport's movement patterns. Enhance visual on the flagship, she commanded. The holographic display zoomed in, revealing subtle distortions around the vessel's hull. Those aren't cargo ships, Arya realized. They're troop carriers. Before she could order a retreat, space itself seemed to ripple. The Nexian ships shed their disguise, revealing heavily armed battle cruisers. They had walked right into a trap. Evasive maneuvers. Arya shouted as energy beams lanced through space. The Shadow Whisper banked hard, its enhanced shields barely absorbing the impact. But instead of pressing their attack, the Nexian ships began emitting a strange frequency. The crew clutched their heads as an alien presence invaded their minds. "I am Archon Vextar," a voice resonated directly in their thoughts. "Your resistance is admirable, but misguided. We offer you a choice." Images flooded their consciousness, visions of Earth transformed under Nexian rule. Gleaming cities, advanced technology, humanity elevated to new heights. All they had to do was surrender. Arya gritted her teeth against the mental assault. "You invaded our world, slaughtered millions. There's no choice here. Your species stands at a crossroads," Vextar continued. "Join us willingly, or be rewritten by force. The bioweapon is ready. Earth's atmosphere will be seeded within days." In that moment, Arya understood the true purpose of the Sahara facility. It wasn't a weapon, it was a transformation engine, designed to forcibly evolve humanity into something the Nexians could control. But the mental link worked both ways. Through it, Arya glimpsed fragments of Nexian knowledge, including weaknesses in their supposedly impenetrable defense systems. "All power to forward shields," she commanded. "Set collision course for the command ship." Her crew looked at her in shock, but complied. They trusted her, even now. The Shadow Whisper accelerated to ramming speed, its experimental engines pushing past safety limits. The Nexian ships opened fire, but Arya had seen their firing patterns in Vextar's mind. She knew exactly how to slip through their defenses. At the last second, she activated the ship's prototype quantum drive, another piece of stolen Nexian tech. Space twisted around them as they phased partially out of normal reality. They passed straight through the command ship's shields, rematerializing inside its hull. The resulting explosion created a cascade failure that ripped through the entire Nexian fleet. As emergency pods launched from the Shadow Whisper, Arya transmitted everything they'd learned from the mental link to Resistance Command. The Sahara facility's location, the bioweapon specifications, the Nexian shield frequencies, it was all there. They'd lost their ship, but gained something far more valuable: hope. The Resistance finally had what they needed to launch a real counteroffensive. The war for Earth's future was far from over, but the balance of power had shifted. Humanity would not be rewritten. They would forge their own path among the stars. The global quantum defense network hummed to life as Earth's combined fleet made their final stand. Admiral Sarah Chen, daughter of the late Dr. Maya Chen, stood on the bridge of the ESS Redemption, watching as thousands of ships moved into formation. The culmination of 2 years of war had led to this moment. Nexian Warfleet detected, her tactical officer reported. They're deploying something new, energy signatures off the charts. The enemy vessels emerged from hyperspace, led by a massive ship unlike anything they'd seen before. Its crystalline surface pulsed with dark energy, distorting spacetime around it. "That's their world breaker," Sarah said grimly. Intelligence had warned about this superweapon, capable of triggering artificial solar flares that could sterilize entire planets. The ship's AI displayed battle projections. Even with their advanced countermeasures, Earth's forces would suffer devastating losses. But they had one advantage the Nexians couldn't predict: the revolutionary bioquantum interface her mother had developed before her death. "Initialize Protocol Ascension," Sarah commanded. Across the fleet, specially modified crews activated their neural links. The technology allowed human consciousness to merge with their ship systems, achieving perfect unity between organic intuition and machine precision. The Nexian Worldbreaker fired its first shot, a lance of concentrated energy that could have vaporized a continent. But the human fleet moved as one, their synchronized shields diffracting the beam harmlessly into space. "Push the attack. All squadrons, execute Pattern Omega." Earth's ships flowed like water around Nexian defenses, striking with impossible coordination. The bioquantum interface let them react faster than any conventional crew, turning each vessel into an extension of human will. The Nexians responded with overwhelming force, their superior technology threatening to overwhelm human defenses through sheer power. Space itself warped and twisted as reality-bending weapons discharged. Sarah felt the neural network strain as ships and crews were lost. Each death echoed through the collective consciousness, but strengthened their resolve. Humanity would not fall today. "Ma'am," her science officer called out. "We're detecting quantum fluctuations in their worldbreaker. The power core is destabilizing." Sarah saw the opportunity. The Nexians' greatest weapon had a critical flaw: it couldn't handle the chaotic energy patterns generated by human neural networks. "All ships, concentrate fire on these coordinates," she ordered, transmitting targeting data through the neural link. "Overload their containment systems." The combined firepower of Earth's fleet struck the Worldbreaker's weak point. For a moment, nothing happened. Then reality itself seemed to crack as the ship's power core breached. The resulting quantum cascade tore through the Nexian fleet, their highly ordered technology unable to cope with the chaotic release of energy. Ships vanished into dimensional rifts or simply ceased to exist as fundamental forces broke down around them. When the destruction cleared, the remaining Nexian vessels were in retreat. Humanity had won not through superior firepower, but by embracing the unpredictable, chaotic nature of their consciousness. In the years that followed, Earth began to rebuild. The recovered Nexian technology, combined with human innovation, ushered in a new age of exploration and discovery. The bioquantum interface evolved, allowing humanity to reach even greater heights. And in the vast database recovered from the destroyed Worldbreaker, they found something unexpected: coordinates to other civilizations who had resisted the Nexian Empire. Earth was not alone in the galaxy. They had allies waiting among the stars. Sarah stood at her mother's memorial, watching the sunset paint the sky in brilliant colors. The war had cost them dearly, but it had also given humanity something precious: unity, purpose, and a future among the stars. The next great adventure was just beginning,